It began with a cold and rainy night. Welcome to week 2 of the Florida legislative session. An eerie chill crept into Tallahassee as testing and teacher bonuses were debated this week at the Florida Capitol. Members of the House Pre-K through 12 Quality Subcommittee listened anxiously to a bill called Fewer and Better Tests. Unfortunately, the face behind the mask tells a different, more chilling story. House Bill 773 by Representative Manny Diaz would supposedly improve Florida's toxic testing system. But the truth is, the bill does nothing to relieve the nightmare and anguish brought on by Florida's testing season. The bill does not change the number or quality of tests students take. It does nothing to significantly reduce time spent on testing or the disruption of our schools. So what does this bill do? Just more tricks, but no treats for our students or teachers.
House Bill 773 is misleading because the title is Fewer Better Tests. It really doesn't eliminate any test. It's the same amount of tests, and so it's not changing anything. It's just reordering the deck and making the tests later in the school year.
When students in my classroom were taking tests that I created, they weren't excited necessarily per se, but they didn't dread them the way that they would dread the FSA. The value of the FSA to the student is minimal, whereas students try to do really well on teacher-created tests because they value the content and they value the relationship that they have with the teacher.
The ghoulish ghost of Best and Brightest programs past has risen again this session. House Bill 7069 passed the House Education Committee this week. This bill expands the current Best and Brightest program. A few days later, the chair of the Senate Pre-K through 12 Education Appropriations Subcommittee decided to drop his proposal for a $200 million pay increase for teachers and instead throw his support behind a Best and Brightest program expansion.
The Best and Brightest scam that we haven't liked for the past 2 years, if they really want to do something to attract and retain teachers, then they should pay teachers accordingly. We are not paid as professionals. As a matter of fact, we lag $10,000 behind the national average. But in the system that they've created with pay for performance, they've created the system of ineffective, highly effective, and effective teachers. Anybody who's a highly effective or effective teacher under their system, then pay them. That's just the bottom line, just pay them.
Best and Brightest is based on tests that are taken when teachers were 16 or 17 years old and completely untethered from research or any other correlation to teacher performance. We will continue monitoring this ineffective program and fight its expansion every step of the way. In other news, FEA members from across the state came and lobbied in Tallahassee. Each week, FEA's public policy advocacy team welcomes a new group of members to talk to legislators about education issues.
I think it's important for people to come up, especially teachers, to come up and lobby their legislators, to be able to recount your personal story as to what's happening with you in your classroom with your students and how legislation is affecting you and them.
We need to share the life and history of education, how valuable it is in our society.
Can't make the drive to Tallahassee? You can still be engaged and advocate for our students, our profession, and our schools.
Make sure you call, make sure you visit, make sure you email your thoughts on what's happening in Tallahassee because it does impact all of us every single day.
During the legislative session, you can stay engaged by following us on Facebook. You can look up the Florida Education Association. We're also on Twitter. You can use the hashtag for every student. We're here to help you to have the information that you need to advocate for our children each and every day. Thank you for being a member.
Make sure you stay tuned and watch our next weekly update brought to you by the Florida Education Association.